May I interest you in purchasing some art today?
Perhaps.
Well, this art is a bit of Egyptian art. You know the Egyptians?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Well, how about history? Do you enjoy history?
Yes.
All right. Well, take a look at this piece of art. It's a bit of history itself, a bit of Egypt. It's from the Book of the Dead, a scroll. It's made out of papyrus, and the Egyptians were the first to use paper. Now let's look at it. See how it's laid out? It's the pictures draw the eyes from left to right, like a comic book. And in fact, it's like an ancient day comic book. There's a story behind it as well. Take a look at the hieroglyphs. They're a narration of what is going on in the story. What we can see here from reading the glyphs is that it is a story centered around a man, the scribe of a pharaoh, by the name of Hunefer, who is facing judgment after his death. At the top of the page, we see Hunefer sitting, speaking to the gods, telling them about what a wonderful life he's lived and what good things he's done. As we scroll down the page, we see Hunefer being led by a jackal-headed god of burial and mummification and afterlife, Anubis. Anubis is leading Hunefer by the hand. It is showing that Hunefer, is worthy of being acknowledged by the gods. Anubis is also holding what is called an ankh, and that is a symbol of the afterlife and going on to eternal life. The next thing we see to the right is Anubis crouching and adjusting a scale. That scale, on either side, there is a jar, and in that jar is the heart of Hunefer. And on the other side of the scale, there is a feather. The feather is from Ma'at, the goddess of order and ethical judgment. We can see her at the top of the scale. Now below the scale is also a bizarre creature with part hippo, part crocodile, and part lion. His name is Amut. And if the heart fails to be lighter than the feather, which it did not fail, it is lighter, as we can see, then Amat would then eat the heart. Now, since the heart is lighter than the feather, that means that Hunefer is a very worthy man and has lived a good life and has a clear conscience. Next to the scale, we see Thoth. He has the head of an ibis and is writing down on a piece of papyrus the results of the scale of the weighing, which are that Hunefer is able to go into the afterlife. And next we see the falcon-headed god Horus leading Hunefer to the throne room of Osiris. Within the throne room, we see Osiris in his falcon form, holding another ankh. Osiris is a god associated with death and the most powerful Egyptian god of all. And he's sitting on the throne. He's wearing an Atef crown. Standing on a flower are Imseti, Duamatef, Hapi, and Kebusinyef, who are associated with north, south, east, and west. They are the gods that protect the vital organs of the dead, so they're there to protect and represent the organs of Hunefer that are being protected. Behind Osiris is his protector and the protector of mummies, Isis. Isis is the mother of Horus and the sister of Nephthys. Next to Isis is Nephthys, fellow protector and protector goddess of mummies and Osiris, and mother of Anubis and sister wife of Seth. So, this is a lovely papyrus. We follow Hunefer along his journey to the afterlife. Wouldn't you like this piece of art on your wall? Isn't it lovely?
Oh, it's so lovely. I'm just broke. I also have a piece of Egyptian art to sell you. Would you be interested?
Tell me a bit more about it and I'll make my decision.
Okay, fair enough. This piece depicts a tree, a snake, and a cat killing the snake. So this piece is located in the British Museum, and it's also found on this ancient piece of papyrus, as you mentioned before. The papyrus is called the Papyrus of Nibensi. The picture is also part of the 17th chapter of the Book of the Dead. The Book of the Dead was used from the beginning of the New Kingdom, which was around 1550 BC to 50 BCE. So you know, this papyrus is super old and it would really love to hang in your own personal museum or your house. So the picture this story depicts is a story of good and evil. One thing I know is that Christians love a dramatic story about good and evil. In the beginning, Ra appeared at Heliopolis, a very ancient city in Egypt, and along with him appeared a tree. Now this tree was very much like the tree of life in the Bible. It was the tree of life for the Egyptians, called the Persea tree, whose fruit granted immortality to anybody who would eat it. So, of course, people wanted to abuse this tree. And one of those persons was Apep, the god of evil, chaos, and destruction. He wanted to use the tree to take over the world, just like any good villain. So, Ra needed to protect the tree against Apep. So what he did was he transformed himself into this great cat called Mau. And he fought off Apep and he defeated him right in front of the Perseus tree using a knife, as you can see in the picture.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so now you can notice the cat has a very nice smug grin on his face, and you have to wonder, is he enjoying this? And maybe he is. It is his mortal enemy, so we'll just let him savor this victory no matter how morbid it may seem to us. So now that you know the context, you're not feeling so sorry for the snake anymore, and this would be a lovely piece to hang in your house. Another interesting fact is I have a different piece just like this one for sale. It's actually another depiction of Ra killing Apep that was found in the tomb in Deir el-Medina around 1930. So this parchment is really old too, and it was found in an archaeological dig site for a tomb. So the Book of the Dead wasn't just one singular book bound like we have today. It was actually singular pieces of papyrus. Pages of the Book of the Dead were placed in sarcophaguses to provide the deceased protection into the afterlife. And there wasn't just one Book of the Dead, there were several. So it makes sense that there are variations of this battle of Mau and Apep. So that one is also for sale if you choose that you like its design a little better.
I'll get back to you on that.
Sounds good. It was nice to do business with you
Nice to
today.
do business with you too.